So Roadcraft just got easier or harder, depending on how you like to play. So there is a new hard mode that is coming out, and it's kind of funny because you can actually make it easier, but it still says hard mode. Anyways, I believe the hard mode will be coming out for everybody, and maybe we'll get more clarification on this later, but the vehicles and the maps and stuff, that will be for the Rebuild expansion specifically. But I think the hard mode and a lot of the other changes will be for everybody. So again, we'll probably have to wait for more clarification, but we can go over some of these changes now. So you guys just saw the first map, this is the second map, and the two new maps are named Contamination and Washout. It says that they've added 7 new vehicles, however, I would say that that's very generous wording. To be honest, it's really only 1 new vehicle. They have a new version and rusty version, so that's 2 of the 7. And then they have a Wayfarer, a Tuz 119, a Taiga 6455B, a Mule T1, and another Armiger Thunder. So we'll go into each of these a little bit later, but the Tuz 119 Mutt is on screen right now. So I should also mention that this is public test server, PTS, if you guys don't know. So that means that a lot of this stuff could and or will change. Obviously some of it could stay the same too, but as of right now, this truck doesn't have any like extra fuel. I would assume with all this roof rack stuff that it will at some point. It does have unique tires in the back, and again, I'm not sure if that is by design, if that's supposed to be part of the appeal of the truck. They are larger and wider in the back than the other Lynx tires or trucks, and they're just a different design overall. But other than the tires in the back and a slightly different fender and stuff, you know, different stuff on top, I don't think this vehicle is very much different than the other ones. And then this here is the Mule T1 Trailblazer. So this is basically the same thing with bigger, better tires. It has a bunch more stuff on the roof rack as well. And I assume at some point that will be, again, added back in as, you know, more fuel or whatever. But yeah, this one is much more stable and it's a little bit better through the mud, so definite upgrade over the normal Mule T1. The next truck up is the Vostok MU97 Ant. This is one of 2 new bridge layers. I will be making a further breakdown video of all these trucks, but this one, just a quick brief breakdown I guess. It has the bridge is twice as long as the other one. It's a little bit wider. They vary in price, but again, we'll go over a lot of this stuff in the other one. This doesn't have any extra fuel or anything like that. The next truck up is the Wayfarer ST7050, and this fuel tank on here carries 10,000 liters. Sounds like a lot, but the trucks go through it a lot faster on here. So next up we have the Taiga 6455B bridge layer. And the Ant, as you guys saw, you can pull up to something and the bridge folds out in front of the truck. This one you actually have to turn around, the bridge folds out backwards. So you have to turn around and reverse to it. Again, I'll make a more in-depth video on this, but the Taiga does not have any roof rack fuel or anything like that as well, which is kind of the main thing that I wanted to point out in this. The next vehicle up is the Armiger Thunder Expedition. This is basically the same as the Armiger Thunder SAR, except this one has a roof rack, so it has 150 liters of fuel. So again, this is only for really if you're playing on hard mode, otherwise it's basically the same. I think the reason that they came out with this is because you can't customize your vehicles in this like you can in SnowRunner or Expedition, so this way you can have a truck with fuel if that's the game mode that you want to play. Alright, so now we'll talk about some of the other changes that they added. So they added fuel. It says vehicles now feature realistic fuel consumption requiring careful resource management. Fuel consumption is affected by a number of factors. Explore the game mechanics to determine the most efficient way to manage it. Additional ways to refuel have been added. Check out the shop and supply depots for related goods. I did see somewhere within one of the settings that there is, between one of the settings you can change to in hard mode, where the price is always normal, or if you change it to like I guess hard mode we'll say, the prices vary within a range it said, so it might be like $1 today at a gas station and then $3, or at least I'm assuming this is what it is. It could be $3 tomorrow and then $2 the day after or whatever, but it varies within a price range, so like 1 to 3. I don't know if it's like it just picks a gas station and this one is always going to be 1 for you and that one's always going to be 3, or how that changes exactly, but it sounds like it's going to be random within a range. So that's kind of a cool setting for the fuel. It says immersive UI, which I have no idea what that is, I'll just be honest. I have user interface, but other than that I have no idea. Maybe there's like a immersive mode like SnowRunner where you can just get rid of everything. Next one up is the gearbox. It says introduces transmission controls for a more precise and engaging shifting experience. So as you can see, it's got high, low, neutral, and reverse, and then automatic. So I don't know, neutral doesn't really do anything. Reverse was kind of already there if you just back up. So basically it's giving you a high-low, a little bit more control. So next up we have realistic convoys. It says convoys dynamically deform terrain over time, making route maintenance an ongoing challenge. Plan your supply lines carefully. Neglected paths may become impassable. So if you guys already hated the AI routes, this one's going to make it even more difficult. Of course, you can turn this off or you can turn it even easier. That's why I said this can be more of an easy mode. When I get towards the end here, the very last one is what really makes it so you can have an easy mode on here. So the next one up is economy modifiers. I believe this is where the fuel price fluctuations came in, but it says easy. The rewards for objectives are increased, experience and cash, encouraging faster progression. Normal, unchanged reward values, so what we were playing on before. Tough, rewards from objectives are reduced, making recycling much more important. Next we have bridge building costs. So for easy, bridge construction costs 30% less. So if it took 10 trees before, now it'll take 7, making it a little bit easier. Normal, unchanged, so same as before. Tough, bridge construction costs 30% more, increasing resource management pressure. So again, if it was 10 trees, now it's going to be 13 trees. So basically, the difference between easy and hard is going to be almost double. You're going from 7 to 13 for trees. I should also state that that goes for all the other supplies too, if you're building a metal bridge or a concrete bridge or whatever. But next up we have recovery rules. So for this it says normal, so default recovery rules, same as it was before. For tough, you have recovery to FOB, so forward operating base, costs 1,000. Recovery to service vehicles costs 5 fuel tokens. So that would be the Konlo Stranik and the Kochevnik. Those ones would cost 5 times the fuel and 1,000. So that's quite a lot. In hard, to recovery to a forward operating base would be 5 times higher, so from 1,000 to 5,000. And then recovery to service vehicles is impossible. And then there's an impossible one, so recovery to a forward operating base costs 10,000. So double the price of hard and 10 times higher than tough. And then recovery to service vehicles is also impossible again. I'm not really a huge fan of that, but at the same time, you can, like, the Konlo Stranik still has a winch. The Kochevnik can still like spawn in cargo and put cargo away and stuff, so they still have uses, but they're kind of not as useful, I guess, but that's kind of the point. So let me know your guys' thoughts on all of this down below. We still got a little bit more to cover here, but yeah, I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts. I know some of you guys think that, you know, it's too easy and all this stuff would make it a little bit more difficult. There's probably some of you out there that think it's too hard and would like to make it easier, so you can go both ways. It's kind of funny that it's called hard mode, but you can actually make it easier, so it's just really weird. So next up is quarry zone sizes. So it says realistic quarry zones. Quarry refill areas now better match their visible boundaries, eliminating unrealistic material collection from distant edges. So basically, if you were like way off in the trees, but the circle was really big and, you know, you can get sand out there, now you kind of got to go back all the way into where the actual quarry is. Some of these I haven't actually like looked at what the easy mode thing would be. Like for this one, you know, would an easy mode make this circle bigger? Like you could grab sand from a larger area? I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and read. Again, it's very early. It's day one. So I'll have to play around with some of these settings, but just interesting to note. And the very last one is called vehicle costs. So vehicle costs, there's a trivial version, and this is the one that I think makes it like the most easy. So all vehicles are free, and all vehicles are immediately available. So you can start a brand new game, have every vehicle unlocked, and every vehicle in the game is free. So, you know, you could start out on Principe, or whatever the first map is, and have all the vehicles right off the bat. Easy vehicles cost their base price but require no unlocks, so all the vehicles are available from the start, but they just cost their normal price, so you have to have the money for it. Normal, so standard prices, standard unlocks. Tough, vehicles cost twice as much. Hard, vehicles cost 4 times as much, which it says drastically limiting early game options. So you're going to have to save up a lot of money to be able to afford those. One more thing that I didn't really mention is the fuel consumption. So it doesn't have like a you're using X amount of liters per minute kind of thing. It's basically just a down arrow saying that you're using fuel. I haven't really paid too much attention. I've only seen 1 and 2 arrows going down, so like you're using a little bit of fuel or more fuel, I guess. But I did read on the PTS, public test server part for Roadcraft, that somebody has seen 4 down arrows when reversing with a dozer. I think they're probably talking about the wide blade. I can't think of the name of it right now, but the one that you get on Sojourn. So I will again be making more in-depth videos on some of this stuff with like the bridge length and width and just looking at some values and stuff. So stay tuned for that if you guys are interested. I will be streaming this again tomorrow, going over some stuff, so if you're interested in that, stop by. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to watch another video, there's a random video on screen and another playlist. Please be sure to share the video, like it, comment, and subscribe. Turn on those bell notifications so you're notified when I upload. And until next time, peace.